It's week 2.
Awesome.
Are we excited?
Yes. What am I doing here?
Oh my god. Whoa! We've already done 1 week of filming. Seriously. No, but yeah, it's exciting for our first foot problem.
Okay, what is
It's talking about our arch enemies.
Oh.
Well, arch support.
Oh.
So whether you have, I thought you'd get that. I thought that was
I
kind
know,
of cute.
Well,
Obviously
when you
not.
said enemy, I was like, well, arch support isn't necessarily enemy, but
Well,
I get the
my
play on
arch
words.
is my enemy.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know
fair
about
enough.
everybody else, but I guess whether you have like really sky high arches or like really like low ones that are basically non-existent.
Yeah.
We are going to talk everything arch and
Awesome.
arch support this fortnight.
And are we also going to bust some of the myths around arch support as well?
Yes, we will. Yeah, we've got Elliot joining us this week from Queensland Foot Centres.
Awesome.
And so he's going to talk a little bit about arch support
Oh, that's
and the
great.
importance of arch, and it'll be interesting to see what he's got to say
Okay,
about
cool.
it. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. So do you know much about arch support? Like,
I know it's something that a lot of people look for in shoes.
Yeah.
And that because of the contours of our feet, having something that follows that and supports it. And I know there can be a bit of a difference between like the amount of support you have in a shoe. Obviously in shoes it's generic. If you go into an orthotic, it's going to be more specific to your foot. And you've got corrective, and then you've just got supportive as well.
Yeah. So you know
Be
that
nice
obviously
specs.
from in-store and working with the brands,
Yes.
right? Yeah.
Before I came across good footwear, I probably didn't really know
Yeah.
about arch support at all.
Yeah. Well, like, I know, I didn't know too much as well before this.
Yeah, and I thought I just had a normal arch, but I probably have a lower one.
Yeah, where I have a high arch.
Yes.
I have my arch as my enemy.
Yep, okay.
It's my enemy.
Does
I
it
have a
make it
sky
hard?
high arch.
Does it make it hard for you to find shoes?
Well, interesting, like, no.
Okay. That's good.
Because I actually don't need a high arch. So even though I have a high arch, I don't need one.
Okay.
Because I supinate, and it actually pushes me out even further. And so it actually pronounces my bad
So
habit.
high arch is not good for you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Because I think that it'd be interesting to get a podiatrist take on that, because I think we have a lot of people that come through and it's not just I want a comfortable shoe.
Yeah.
It's a comfortable shoe means high arch support, and that may not
Yeah.
necessarily be the case.
Exactly. I think that's the myth that we're going to bust
Okay.
this week.
Awesome.
Is whether, like, everybody needs a high. That's the myth. Everybody thinks they need a high arch.
Yes.
And I know in store, like, that is, everyone comes in looking for a high arch, and they don't necessarily need it. So it'll be
cool.
interesting to see what the podiatrist Elliot has to say about it.
We've got all the shoes and we know they've got comfort in them. Why is it good for somewhere like Footgear to have that connection with podiatrists?
Well, they know so much about the feet.
Yeah.
And, like, there's so much tech in the shoes that, like, if an arch is sitting in the wrong place or is too high up in the arch, you're actually causing a lot of pain. You're putting a lot of pressure on those muscles, and, the feet are quite important. So if you actually take your feet, and if you, obviously from what I've heard, if you injure your feet, like, or have support in the wrong place, it can actually really hurt. And it can actually be also really helpful. So, podiatrists know so much about the feet. This is where they come into play, bringing their expert knowledge about, whether you need a deep heel cup or, a wider forefront in the toe box. So they'll give us a lot of,
Okay.
Awesome. I don't know if that was
That makes sense. Yeah. So it's basically like pairing the two things, where it starts with the feet. That's where the podiatrists come in.
Yeah.
And then they know about the feet, we know about the shoes.
Yeah. And I
So it
think that
makes
was-
sense for those two things to pair together.
Yeah, it does.
What exactly is arch support? Or what did you think? I think what I think it was and what it is should be. It's
Like,
around the
yeah,
same level.
what it is, I thought it was, like, underneath your foot, the arch.
The arch. So,
Yeah.
Whereas
Like,
you might have some people that come in and
yeah.
they think the arch support is like the,
The
top
upper.
of the foot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
is your instep. But I told you, like, last week, I was
Yes.
like, I can't believe some people used to come in and say that their arch was their instep, and I'm like, no, your arch is underneath.
Yeah.
And it was a bit like, they're like, whoa, okay,
Yeah,
and then so I
okay.
think maybe that's how they also had a better understanding of how high they needed their arch.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, I think it's pretty like straightforward. Your arch is
Yeah.
underneath your foot.
One
Do you
thing
have
I
any-
would say, and I guess that's a bit of insight into like people are getting to learn more and more about their feet and how much that in turn affects other things.
Yeah.
Birkenstock's got quite a high arch support.
Yeah.
I've got a low arch,
Yeah.
so I do feel that contour of the footbed,
Yeah,
but
okay.
it's not
Does it
uncomfortable.
Okay.
I think it was felt strange
Okay.
the first
to
time I
initially-
tried it. Strange, but not uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But after never having an arch support before, it was kind of like, you know, if you wear a watch all the time
Yeah.
and then you take the watch off,
And
but it still feels like
yeah,
it's there.
Yeah.
So my first day after wearing Birkenstocks, if I put my foot on the ground, it felt like the arch was
Interesting.
still there, even though I didn't have the shoes on anymore.
Okay. Because any of the shoes that I pick, like they don't really have a high arch support because if I feel it, I feel like I'm rolling out.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I don't like that feeling of having my arch fully
Yeah,
like
okay.
touching the arch
Well,
support.
because, and also that would be because of your supinating
yeah,
instead of
it just
instead of
bounces it.
pronating, which
Yeah.
most people pronate, and
Yes,
only
they
and a
do,
smaller percentage of people
Yeah.
supinate. So with arch support, I guess one thing a lot of people may not know is how obviously you can go to a podiatrist and
Yeah.
they'll be able to help give you some information about this because they'll know.
Yeah.
But for yourself, if you're just wanting to check, I think there are a couple of ways you can sort of do a little bit of a visual look or a little bit of a test to check if you have
Oh yeah.
a low
high or low.
arch or a
Yep.
flat foot.
Yeah. I saw this thing. It was like, do you have a sky high arch or a missing in action? Sorry. I just
Oh
had to
really?
say that,
Sky
yeah.
high, you're missing in action.
Or missing
You're
in
sky
action.
high, I'm missing in
Yeah,
action.
you're missing in action.
Okay.
Yeah, I love that. I just thought about that and I was like, that was the other one to sky high. Anyways.
Okay, so
So no.
one of the ones you can do that will help sort of determine or give you an idea if maybe you have a flat foot is if you put your foot on the ground and you're sort of standing up. If you can fit a finger underneath, then you do have some sort of arch. If you can fit the finger under your foot. If you can't slide a finger under your foot at where the arch point is, then that could indicate that you have flat feet.
You want to do the little cake introduction of what we got today? Because I'm really excited. I haven't tried them before.
No, okay, so I have heard of Brookie, but mostly for the cookies.
Yeah, Brookie's cookies.
I've
actually
mostly heard
really
of them,
cute.
and I've heard a lot of people say like it's worth the line up.
Yeah.
It's worth the trip into the valley
Yeah,
to get
yeah.
them. Although I think she's got a store at Chermside now.
Yeah, she does, and I think she also had a pop-up at the airport.
But I'm excited that we're trying something that I
Yeah.
haven't really
Yeah.
heard lots of people talking about. Everyone talks about the cookies and the heart-shaped cakes. So
Yeah,
it looks
what
like
flavour?
jam.
I
It looks
didn't
like
even know.
jams. I reckon. Would it be jam donut?
Like a jam, yeah. I was about to say
Because you've got
cinnamon
the
on
jam and
top,
cinnamon.
and then jam, yeah.
Cinnamon. Okay.
It actually smells really good.
Oh, it does smell really good.
I love cinnamon.
Sorry, so we're talking about cakes.
We
just like
skipped it.
stopped talking about
Yeah.
shoes for a second to tell you about this cupcake.
Yeah.
If I may,
This is
the
Patrice's
real
big
reason
moment.
we're all here
Yes.
is because we're having a little bit of a chat and we thought, how can we bring more cake into the office and
Yeah.
make work pay for it?
Yeah. Don't tell our boss that.
And we thought, let's do a podcast about shoes and feet and foot health, but also somehow make it about cake so that we get
And
cake.
eating
So
cake.
thank you for watching and supporting our Cake for Work project.
I think one thing that's really made us like who we are, or something unique a little bit about us, is that we love cake in the office.
Yes.
Like sometimes we'll show up with a cake that like you've made or I've made, or like somewhere that, you know, we've just seen a nice cake, someone's been out and just picked up
So
one.
it doesn't have to be a birthday, it doesn't have to be a special
No,
occasion.
it doesn't.
It
No.
just has to be a day that people need cake.
Yeah, or even just like
Or
we just show up with cake and it's
We
just
do.
like it's cake.
Yeah, and
Does
we know
everyone
that the
cake?
office is going to appreciate it.
Yeah, we do,
Yeah.
yeah.
We don't judge if there are people in the office that don't eat cake also. We
Yes.
don't judge.
We don't judge.
Just means
Sometimes
more cake for the people that love it. That's all right.
Should we just go in?
Mhm. It's really good.
Yeah. Yum!
That is so
Mm,
delicious.
This is the first time I'm ever gonna eat like a full
Even if you don't like the parking in the valley, it's worth the trip.
Would you recommend this?
That was so. In my terms of rating, it is worth the journey.
Awesome. Well, now we've treated ourselves.
Yes.
I think we now need to talk a little bit more about maybe the brands. Like I know that each of our brands have different
Levels of arch
levels of
support.
arch support. Like I
Yeah.
know Echo has some of them have medium and some of them have high, and then some of them have neutral. Neutral's still got an arch support, but it's not as...
Just like following the natural contours of your foot.
Yes, yeah. So what would you say is a brand that's got quite high arch support?
For high arch support, one of my first go-tos would be Vionic.
Mm-hmm.
Even in their ballet flats, if
Yeah.
you have a look at the insole, you can really see that contour in the arch support.
Yeah, I would agree.
And I think Vionic is one of those brands where the support in the shoe has been designed by a podiatrist.
Mm. Are they podiatry designed specifically? Vionic?
No, I don't think their podiatry is designed specifically. I know that they, I could be wrong on that, but
Yep.
it's more so the actual, the arch support of the footbed is podiatry designed. So yeah, as you can see, it actually says podiatrist designed on there. You won't probably be able to see it. And the amazing thing is, there's this high arch support in this shoe, but you wouldn't even know it.
Yeah.
Like it's still
It's
got
a
a really
really
nice classic ballet profile.
Yeah. This is actually Victoria's favourite shoe. Yeah, she literally, if you want
She's
to
on
come
camera.
in and she's on camera. She's like, I don't want to get in camera.
And she's just staring at us, whispering,
Like-
my favourite shoe.
I
Yeah,
have it in black too.
yeah, she has it in both colours.
Both colours.
I take it on holidays all the time.
Yeah, she wears it with like skirts and tops and
Yeah.
not even
They're
like
actually bringing out a classic ballet style this
oh,
winter.
without the
So no, you know, like more that slightly square at the
yeah.
toe
yeah. Okay, like similar to a Gianna.
from Frankie
Yeah.
Ford. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
No, that should be nice. I think the only like thing that turns people off this shoe, which I don't, it doesn't turn me off, is the little elastic,
Oh, okay.
which I actually love.
I think it's good for if you need that give at the front so that the ballet doesn't cut in.
Yeah, it's
And
good
it's actually
fitting.
even soft if you've got a little bit of a bunion. As
Yeah.
long as it doesn't feel like that
Yeah.
stitches.
Or if you have a really like a swollen foot.
Yeah.
Like it's really nice.
It's a little bit more
It
forgiving.
Just, yeah. it
Definitely.
is. It is.
Would be, do we have anything that you would say is the neutral footbed?
We have a couple of shoes like on supposed to like contour naturally.
It does
with
have
the,
a little natural contour,
Yeah.
and the idea with those is the cushioning and everything customizes
Yeah.
to your natural
It
gait
does.
and your natural walking pattern. So yeah, okay, I can see that.
People think that the different inserts have different arch supports.
Ah, okay,
I think
yeah.
that's such a big misconception, but it's not. They're all
Or
the
by
same
taking
arch
out the
support.
full inner sole to the 3/4. So
Yeah.
Frankie 4 have a fit pack, and the whole idea with the fit pack is a lot of the time what we've had people say in the past is they'll come in and they'll say, look, normally I'm a 9, but in all my runners I have to go to a 10 or a 10.5 because of the width.
Yeah,
But with Frankie 4, the idea is that rather than having to keep going up in a size to get a wider shoe, you get the right size, the right length, and then you customize the width from there. So they
Yeah.
have the full inner sole, which is meant to be regular fitting, a 3/4 footbed, which is for a wider fitting, and then an extra little 4-foot cushion, which you add to the full inner sole for a
Yeah.
narrow fitting.
every single shoe that we choose and that we have at the store, they all have a level of arch support.
Or some kind of tech in them.
Or some kind of, I would say even just level of arch support, whether it's neutral,
'Cause,
medium,
Oh,
or
apart
high.
from FitFlop wouldn't necessarily have an arch.
I'd say
support.
neutral. They
Yeah,
still have
okay.
a slight contour.
Slight contour.
Like,
because they're more about the cushioning tech in the
they
sole.
are, that's so true. But everything has some sort of support or tech in it.
Yes.
And yeah, like I guess it'll be interesting to see what Elliot thinks of.
Yeah. Sounds like we've got a
or-
few good questions.
I think so. Yeah.
to
Hopefully
ask him as
he
well.
busts some of our myths.
Yes.
That's a way to say it that way around. But yeah, hopefully he'll give us a lot more
Yeah.
information.
And people can DM us if they've got questions
Yes.
they want us to ask him.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
great.
Yeah. But yeah, let us know if you have a high, medium, or low arch.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
And if there's particular shoes you find that help with that.
yeah.
It's
yeah.
interesting
for
to know
sure.
what I find it's interesting to always hear what shoes work for people.